Hi from Me Therapy. My name is Marty and this is Megan, and we're here to share some of our new activities for our back to school kit. And hopefully these activities will help you get started with your first therapy sessions this fall. So we're going to start with Megan. I'm going to share my screen.
Thanks, Marty.
Sure.
So as Marty's pulling this up, the first activity or material that you're going to see on the screen is our student caseload questionnaire student information sheet. And this sheet, Marty, do you mind scrolling down just a little bit? Perfect, thank you. This sheet is intended to be a sheet or an activity that can be used when you first get your student list and you're making those initial parent contacts. It's very important that once you get that parent on the phone, you really want to use the time wisely. And this sheet is a great resource or tool to have right in front of you to help you stay on track during that initial phone conference with the caregivers. So we recommend that you take the time to find out about the student's interests, and that is all embedded into this sheet with the questions that you can prompt the parents with as you're working through the various questions on here. There's just so much more to know about your students beyond their goals, and it can really help you plan effective sessions that are going to grow your relationship between you, between the student, and between the student's family. So we hope that as you use this sheet for your remote sessions, you can really get a better feel for the students before you work with them. The other thing I just want to mention is that this sheet is also great for a brick and mortar setting. So if you're not a teletherapist or you're kind of bouncing between the two settings, this is something that on the first day of therapy, when you work with a student for the first time, you could certainly send this home, have the caregiver complete this form and send it back in so that you again have that background information on your students. I'm going to pass it back to Marty for her next resource.
Sure. And I think that the resources that we're showing you today really work hand in hand. So the second set of resources are basic charts to help you manage all of your caseload, figure out who the caregivers are, the caregiver contact information, date of birth, grade level, and their most recent IEP, which you're going to need to know, basic goal areas, and times for the student to have their therapy sessions. And in Megan's form, she has a section where the parent can request a particular time and date or day of the week for their sessions. And I think that's a really good option. That way you can work as a team to make sure your kids are scheduled at the best time for them. So this is just a master caseload list. I do like the first column. It has date, student assigned. And in teletherapy, it can be a really big deal when you get assigned a student and making sure that you're making those initial contacts with the parents and getting them scheduled as soon as possible. Some schools have a very quick turnaround, so it's nice to keep track of all those dates so that you can demonstrate, yes, I got this student yesterday and they're scheduled and ready to go within a couple of days. So it's just nice to have all of that documentation on one or two sheets. The second sheet also, I think, goes with Megan's sheet as well. It's an overall student profile. And on this sheet, I have the case manager, and I also have a section for eligibility. I think that's really important information to know, especially if you're going to be responsible for case management or not. Also a section for IEP dates, re-eval due dates, and progress report dates. Again, in teletherapy, if you're working in a couple of different schools, it's important to know when those progress reports are due. Different schools might have different due dates. And also the service time. And again, this is really important because you need to make sure you're providing that service the correct number of minutes that's on their IEP. The last sheet I like to use when I'm making those initial parent phone calls. I will pencil in potential times and days of the week that I might be working with students. And then as I'm talking with parents, I'll suggest a time or day, but I'm also open to other times just to make sure that we have that the best time possible for the student because it impacts their attendance. You want to have strong attendance, and making sure that you offer students and families choices really increases the likelihood that you're going to have strong attendance for your students. So we really hope that you find these sheets, these resources effective and useful as you begin your school year. And we want to make sure that you have the opportunity to visit our website because we have lots of freebies, webinars, all types of resources. In fact, we have a resource library that is a treasure trove of activities. And be sure to follow us on social media because Megan and I create fresh new activities almost weekly. You're going to find something new. So from eTherapy, thanks and have a great day.